Hi, I'm Ricky. I do the designs on the channel. It's been requested to do one live. I find this interesting. I love my job. I enjoy doing this. So if I may, I'll start with a bathroom I've been asked to do, which is very much to those dimensions. I've got rough ceiling height. These were provided to me. And they want to try and achieve something like that. However, the budget excludes specifically that, so I need to mirror something similar to it, but obviously it won't be exactly like that. But let's see where we get to with it anyway. There may be points on the video where it's stopped and then suddenly jumped somewhere else, and that is more than likely I've not been able to complete it in one sitting, as I do like a lot of thinking time, and occasionally I have to create the items that I want to put into the design first. And if I haven't created them, that's it. Well, if I may, I'll build the outline of the room. I like to use the entire landscape space of the design, so I'll start on the 1600 wall. This section on the photo was built out, so it's as if the soil is running into this corner, so it's not something I can get rid of. However, what I will do for the moment is build into it, because I may be able to add alcoves in the future if I want to. Find a handy tool on ArtiCAD is where it will do the maths for you, so you don't have to do too much. So I know the door is going to be 720. Could maybe made that a door and done that as a door, but in this instance I didn't. And joining the room, the end, I find important. And I know for a fact these are external, because there is a window here which you can't see. It's not been written on the plan. However, I do have it on the images. That's the image I was provided. I need the window up there, which looks higher than standard, so that's going to be around 900. So these look as though they're 300 high tiles. Down 1500, 1600. About 1200 wide. So 300 off that wall. So use utilities, wall helper, add a window, distance from the start. So I'm assuming it's going to be 1200, 300 from the wall. So I'm going to do 1500, so I'm 860 from the start. Width of the window is 1200, and then I can just alter the height of it. I'll use an additional window because they look better. And what shall I make that? What does it look like? Right hand. Okay. This. Yeah, similar. Let's go 1500. Let's go 600 high. Okay. Just 700. Too small. That is definitely an external. Window inside really. Another look at that. Quite high ceiling. We'll assume 2500 for the moment. That's subject to change. It could be a 2.4. That's standard. Let's see where we are with that at the moment. Like a high ceiling plane. Oh. I have no idea what's causing that fault. It will do this. Look at the window. Yeah. As of the new update, there's another error to inform ArtiCAD about. It happens through product development, and I just can't be choosers with it. Let's have a look. So that's ground. Let's return that back to 1500. Nice. There we go. Leave that standard window in. It is what it is. Used it for years. Continue using it. There we go. Does the job. Okay, so the idea is, you'll see I've got these two different colours as well, so it shows a brand new door in an old frame, and it's sort of sparked the conversation with the client about decorating, which invariably we don't do. However, it can be something we can recommend that the decorator get. So I know the soil's running along here, and there's going to be a shower area placed at this point. There's an existing bath, so the toilet's going to stay on this wall. Nice big basin area on the left hand side to try and mirror what was on that sign. It's applied image. Okay. I wonder if I make that external, will that error come back? No. Okay. Okay, let's have a look at this. So 220. Let me just save this in my test room folder. B1. Oh, the update. I've got the old style flying buttons. Here we go. This is what I'm used to now. I've used a newer setup. I used to use the older setup. I preferred this one in the end. So I'll place an internal wall for that stud. So I'll bring it out 1,000. Might not need to be 1,000 because it'll have the soil in it. So maybe if I bring it to how far I require it, and then I'm going to do that. 2 asterisks, return it to standard anyway. So like 800, 220 depth, and that'll bring it through to here, very much like that. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Lock that into position. I'm not dragging that anywhere, which is great. Yes, well, I didn't want it 800. I talked about making it 600 the depth I required. Do that. And do a mirror pass at this point. 100. 600, won't it? Because depth there. 1. Okay. I'll lock that into position as well, so that ain't going anywhere. The toilet's still going to be built into this position. Might as well utilise the space. I can get an 1800 shower, however I could build with some alcoves, make some form of a nice feature. Whilst the client wasn't immediately specific about their budget, their original budget idea just between 3,000 and 4,000, which is impossible for a room like this, to even have it nicely fitted, let alone all the equipment. I'll do that and put alcoves in there. Let's have a look at the shower trays. So a lot of these I've created a library for myself. As I go along, I create more items or import them, take them from manufacturers. Use Google Sketchup. A fantastic tool when used with this. So shower trays. Here we go. I've been starting to improve my original models of the Ticino Giorgio trays. Let's have a look. I need an 1800 really, so I've probably created it in the other. No, I have no 1800s there. Okay, so it's, I'll tell you what, I'll import one I've already done so I can just get on with the design, otherwise it will take ages. So the one I did previously, which person, I've made every single size. Just I've been polishing them off and adding radius ends on them just to make them a little bit more realistic. And the fold starting within 100mm from the edge rather than straight from the edge. Again, just for the realism. So bathrooms, just now. 2 width. Now I can have substantial. I'll do 900 for the moment. Could always go larger. Your discussion. That'll be able to. Let's have a look. So, yeah, watch the snap lines. Off. Okay. So I'll go there, move unit, move to the right. Should work. 100 mil. There we go. That's fine. I like to add text where, especially on my custom models, where it's a Giorgio 1800 by 900, because invariably I'll forget what I put in there. For smaller fonts, and there we go. One of my favourites when I drag them in, I would usually have the tags already done. Okay, so I'm 20 mil shy on this. I could in actual fact go for the larger, so let's say for instance, which is what I would do. So I've made a small error then, so I'll correct that. Audio 2000 wide, and go for a 1900, which I think will better fit the room. Even if the toilet's around that position, yeah, plenty big enough basin area. Absolutely do. I'll tell you what, let's sack that one off, and then put this in there. So that's a 1900 by 1000. There we go. Let's lock that, because I don't want to accidentally drag it out. It really irritates me when that occurs. Right, Control S, always save. I've got between these two, so it's 1380. So have a freestanding basin on there. Might could even put two basins, but that wasn't on the client's remit. It was just one, but the space just allows for it, unless it's small basin and then they're trying to put the toilet like on the image, which I mean I could do. I just like this because that's thicker with that. I like it mirroring. Let's have a look. So where are we at with it? Okay. So they're after a small effect. Let me change some of these textures. Again, on my favorites, I would usually have these set. So I've got, and I've created these over time. So white, Audio white. So you see it's textured. Got my ages. Yeah, that's correct. Flipping plane goes backwards now on the new update. Yeah, not irritating. Clear finishes, metals. Started creating my own, and the main point of that is when ArtiCAD updates, when they change any of the files, if I've created models and I've allocated to their own default colors and they've changed that file in any way, it'll then have a no name next to it, so I'm then having to reallocate the colors. If I create my own custom library and I keep my custom library up to date and all my models linked to my custom library, I know that nothing will change unless I choose to make it happen. So it's a bit of a brushed finish on this anyway, on that tray. I'll leave that black. Okay. You'll see the ceiling is automatically, I've got it as standard with plastic cladding. I like that. It sells well. It's also antifungal. Don't have to bother painting it. Less hassle really, which is what we all want. Now, do I want to box out here and put a toilet? Or do I want to move this over to allow for the toilet? I can only shrink this so much. If I bring it all out. Okay, I'll tell you what. So if I utilize the space, I'll go 810 because pull this out. That's 810. Then it'll just be up until the door. Got door architrave. I'd prefer to get rid of that. 810. There we go. Locked again. Brilliant. And then I want to hide soil in this section. So enter 1400, 1380, 1380. It's all going to be in there, but I need a good space for the toilet. So move that to the right. Whoa, it depends where it's snapping, so let's have a look. Yeah, definitely not got that correct. Nothing on this wall. Move in by 800. It doesn't leave much, and that's more of the spacious point to be sat on the toilet. Now I can move it, move in, right. But the idea is, if the saw can be pushed or manipulated or changed in any way where we can then take it into this corner, tell you what, we can then make this narrower. So let's say the tiles are 100 mil. So if I go 100 mil, so 100 mil, that's fine. Let's do 1,000. Love it. Let's snap to back 2, and then that'll snap there instead. Handy. Okay. So 1,000 for a basin unit. Move the unit to the left. Minus 1,000. 100 rather. Now minus 100. Where the measurement indicates the back. Control D. Control Z. Edit undo. Move in. Minus 100. Great. Lock you in position. You're locked. And you're now locked. Okay. Let's do this. So it's 621. There we go. Now, let's put some of these sanitary items in there. Still need to work on this to try and create that overall feel of that. I think there's no point even putting any weddy board in to try and create these curves. It would just be too expensive for the client. Or, I'm presuming so, just with the indicator. Their tile, even though these are large format, which I would much prefer, they've gone smaller tiles, have them in line, similar to these. Let's see what they got. So, go to, I've got these 3 set up. I'll put the 1/120 frame in. The toilet clears. The inner mount I find very useful, so I'll bring that off the wall. Very much there. Sanitary ware, Catalano. Let's go glossy white as per usual. 55 standard. 220 off the wall again, so it just sits for me. I don't have to mess about bringing it there. Didn't I mess about putting me in, but it helps when dragging it out and dragging it back in. Got these. Look at it, narrow that. I think I'm going to widen that, shrink this down to maybe a 800. That would probably be best. So move in by 200. Do that by 800. And minus 220. Move in 220. Right, 220. Oh, left 20. Oh, 40 now. 821 on that one. And those. Up and dragging it. There we go. Probably make this shallower. There we go. There we are. Yeah. Now I like it to look like tile trims on the edges here to make it look more realistic. I even go through the effort and do that around the windows. Some software packages do that I'd still go for ArtiCAD any day. There are limitations, even I get given with being able to use SketchUp really adds to it for me. Okay. So I did want tiled feature. So given this image yet again, this one. Now, using a Sailstone product would probably be, Cosentino would be my go-to for this sort of effect. They do these basins, get the material, and yeah, it work great, but it's just that won't work for the client whatsoever. So I want to create this as somewhat of a tiled feature, and then sit vessel basin onto the surface, and then have either an extended basin mixer or the wall mounted. For the wall mounted, that's what we'll go for initially. More expensive option, but it's the better option to go for. If you're spending a good amount of money anyway, the small difference it makes, I would do that. So this feature, let's see what my depth is there, 589. So we're 589 deep. Here we go. So 589, in amount 220, depth 800, height off the ground. Okay, so let's say we're going to make it 250 high. Height off the ground then will be 600 because I base the tap at around 850. But then the base in that needs to be lower. But I'm going to place it at this for the moment anyway, and then I can always correct this. Okay, so the width would be 800, depth 589 because I'm flipping. There we go. Hold on. Where are we at? Okay, got that. Let's change the tiles. So again, all these tiles I've created to use within my designs. I created these previously before going into it. I didn't have them until I needed them. So the cast ceramic within the Pietra range, and let's do. So the majority actually will be the sanitary gloss and the horizontal. Okay, so it's I've done it straight line rather than brick bond. Quite bluey the texture. Here's what it is, as I say. Okay. I'll use a tile board. Wallboard. We go 589. I'm not going to do that actually. 587 to allow room for trim. Should be 2 mil. Let's say for instance on this. And for cheating's sake, I might as well make it 810. And then it'll just bring it straight out. Oh, minus the 2 mil I'm going to use for the trimmer. Take that back. Let's do this. I don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Alter these. Get this 10 to 0 so I know where I'm at. So I know the basin area is 300 mil because I'm making it that. So I'll make mid panel height 2 my feature above basin height. Low panel height I'll make as the main tile texture, which as we know, did I say 300? No, it's 250. 250. And I know this is 600. It's fine. I don't want that to render, it would just be a gap. And then this one 1650, 100 mil in. So 500. That. Great. Female. Superb. Let's have a look, see how that's worked out. If made any errors, I could have done. Okay. Trimmage. Maybe I should have the gap in it. Tell you what. Do this 100. 300 gap. 900. That's the 1600 above. And then this should split it correctly. Oh, 250 wasn't it? I keep doing that. 250. 1550. Okay. That's that. Utilize that for the other side. So, F9 to duplicate. Now here. Right, let's get rid of that 100. Zero it. Drag this. Place it here. That looks about right. Might be slightly off. But hey, tiling's never perfect. Tell you what, do that. Let it do the maths for me. So 587, 220 plus 587. Oh, it won't do it for me. So 907, 807. It's fine. Not 2 mil. 2 mil. And 799 will allow me for 10 mil trim. Height 2 mil. Off the ground 850. Do that. Just for that added realism. It's my little trim again. This. Yeah. Move it in, -10. There we go. Got slightly off. Okay, great. And I can alter this one. So I can just do 2500, move the rest because there shouldn't be a break in it. Okay. Worth saving at this point. This case is a random crash during render. This has returned to us this version. Okay. System library. So I could also do the search. So I've got my Chrome. Yeah. Now in global, I'm going to edit these tiles. With this one and this one are trims. That. How that comes out. Okay, looking better. Trim could be underneath here, but you know, you can only go so far with the detail that you go to. Really want to try and set the tiles so that they're more accurate on the design, but for this initial one, this accuracy will be enough, and then it can be fettered as the client proceeds and moves forward and designs and amended. So tile panel 1 with the Santorini, custom tiles, Pietra, to Santorini. Yep, not Sanot. Right. Cross horizontal. Yep, that's good. Could have changed the other one whilst I'm at it, but I'm not doing that just yet. And now I need to amend. Now, I'll probably keep that tiled and then amend the back. So it's 800. We know it's 800. 9. 800. Yeah, I might as well do that. It needs to be done properly. But I'll keep all that as it is. More thickness. Bring it in from the wall 220. So this is so I create the chosen feature tile at the back, even though the feature tile isn't much of a feature tile, but it's what sort of mirrors up there actually. So, okay. Radius rectangle. Okay. Horizon. Okay. Let's see what. Sanitary Catalano to 800. So 500 by 350. I know it's satin black. I'll change the colour though. So it's 220. 350. I like that. I like it very much. Started adding the House of Piccadilly brand. So let's have a look. And set this off the floor, 818, but now it's going to be 850. So is it too high? Doubt it. Material finishes, glazed, Catalano, like ceramic. I still like ceramic. That's all it'll be. And this will be chrome, as you'd expect. Although I'd love brass. Not too much of a fan of matte black. However, I like PVD black finishes. Much more substantial in longevity. Don't get chipping. At a much higher price point. We shouldn't sell it as often, but we have that in our showroom. Okay. Pencil tiles, or what I like to call it. Pencil pleat. Doubt it. Custom tiles, Pietra. Decorative tiles, Arta ceramic, white. And we're doing vertical. Look at this. Rotated 90 degrees. And it's up to world. Fine. Save it. I mean, there's no difference. The file. Okay. So that is somewhat bluey in difference, isn't it? I'm not too keen on how those two tiles look vastly different. Now, I can fix that. So, all I'm going to do is, in a separate program, is remove some of the colour from it, from this main tile, so it's more monochromed. So I'm not aiming for perfection, but by eye, I think this one should be better now. So I edit the texture, within my catalogue. Texture. What's that? There we go. B2. Change on there anyway. Yes, it is. There we go. Left blue. Okay. Just double check. Nothing else changed. I think texture size may have changed when I dragged that in. I've not made a perfect texture. However, I want it to render as perfect. So that one might same. Rather the lines to go near enough where they would go for better planning. This is from Mathematica as well. So this, you change it. 135, done. So that's the one I wanted anyway. So, oh no, it isn't. I wanted horizontal. Let me do this again. Let's cancel. Materials, greeny, horizontal, parent preview, preview, parent preview. Happy with that. Okay, let's see it. Much better color tones. Now, again, they won't be the same. In real life, there is a huge difference to them, but it's not massive as it was. But now, in my eyes, this is more acceptable. So, yeah. Could put storage, that shelving unit and everything, but unfortunately the budget is so limited. Already got stud work, and with the cost of plasterboard and timber these days, well, I need the glass on there, so I've got the toilet, put the glass on there. Need the tap, so the brassware, the glass. Might as well have a wall fan on there. So I have accessories already done. So the Ventaxia wall mounted. Might need to do the colour, or it could be, wall mounted. I can stick it in the ceiling in this position. Might need to change the colour, but I've got it automatically changing. Yeah, so that's using an ArtiCAD default, and I've never got around and put it to my own. So I'll do materials, plastic, because it is plastic. It's more of a warm white plastic. Here we go. It's fine. Let's have a look at Novellini deflectors. Deflector, quadrant H version. Don't need a flipper. The quadrant H is more than satisfactory. And quadrant H. And more. Move in by 90. There we go. Don't want it too much to be hanging over the tray. So that should be fine. Should be around 25. Let's go 27 mil. Floor. Let's have a look. See how this is looking. Textures might not be correct on them, but simple fix. No, it works. Nice big deflector. There. Mirror on there. What mirror shall I go for? What mirror? Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? Not you, it says. Okay. I like Koala mirrors. Good value for money. Good product. Haven't had a fault with one. Apart from the built-in, actually. Right, a cabinet. I showed the socket. It's overly noisy. Massively vibrates. Big hum. Nothing's ever perfect. Should we go round? No. Don't quite have the fuse. I wonder. Got the frame. Goes round. What about this? Look at this string. Uses a space. Now, how's that going to look? Now it's going to be 1500 off the floor. Let's say that for the moment. And then, obviously, an amount 220. Saves messing about. These I have them auto-producing. It's also automatically tagged with, annotations, bathroom equipment. My new shower deflectors are also tagged as needed. Close to the top now, actually. Let's go 1150. I'll have room for my tap. Still thinking extended basin mixer would probably be a better option just because of the budget I'd want. As much as I said earlier. No, I'm going to do it. Right, so that's my mirror in place. I need ceiling lights. Ceiling lights, shower. Could perhaps put a shelf under there as well. Again, less is more quite often. Ooh. Stop the render, even though I never said go for a render. Let's save that. Okay, so. There we go. And I was right to have some faith there. That's brilliant. Let's get this polished off now. Alright, so I need some white tiles. I'm going to go in large format, so floor, custom tiles, and Spania. I love a lot of their tiles. Pietra is lovely as well. Split the job between them. Do on this. I've already created the texture. Natural FE4. And I'm missing the texture because I haven't imported the Spania stuff onto mine. It is what it is. Let's have a look. Wait, which one do I have? In the grout to look a bit too yellowy, but I can polish that up on the proper one anyway. Do that. Okay, favourites. Let's go for the Aquala. Love the Kylo range. Fantastic. Sold it time and time again. No issues. Wall arm. Frame. No wonder if we haven't seen the access into the loft, so I'd rather do ceiling arm in this instance. We'll use the House Piccadilly and have it with a ceiling head, and need the handset now. So do pillow holder. Great, let's put it down. It's probably brass or something. In fact, Chrome. It's using the ArtiCAD defaults. Tumbler. I could add all that on. Have a look. So Kylo. Save. Let's go to Banyo. Got some of their models. Well, actually, you know what? Whilst I'm here, let's put the source radiator. Go white. Although I do like the Ticino Hugos. They're my favourites. And close that. I'll use this model for the hand stick. An ArtiCAD default one. 100 mil. Okay. Such a big shower space. It'd be nice to get a nice alcove in there. Even make that deeper. so much scope. Look at the room now. Some ceiling lights, really. Follow the mirror. I mean, a lot of it's wasted space, but utilising it makes the area look even bigger. Okay, ceiling lights. So, favourites. I should have some in my lighting already, and I'll attack them hopefully. Let's do 395. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3. See it reflect off the head, which I'm not particularly keen on. All depends. You could go with the lighting in there, but then you could say it looks a bit too dark. Okay. Hopefully they're tagged with lights, so I can turn them on and off. They'll slow down going into the process. The tagging system is fantastic. Very pleased that ArtiCAD brought that in. Find it very useful. I could do with having permanent tag names staying in the software, so lighting for instance, rather than having to recreate it if I'm starting from scratch. Let's see where we're at with this then. Might speed this bit up now. So this is roughly where I get to with the design. Now there's a few tweaks I'll make and improve on it. I'll also do some of the House of Piccadilly imports on the more powerful PC, where I can do stuff whilst it's doing it in the background, whereas my laptop, unfortunately, even though it's a Core i7, it is only a laptop, doesn't process the same. So with hyper-threading, I believe my laptop. So let's have a look at the specification. Yeah, so 6 cores, so 12, whereas my work one's 14 to 28. So it's a lot more processing power. The memory isn't that much of an issue. I find 16 gigs works well. However, out on my works PC, I got it at 32. I have had 64 previously, but there's not really been a difference between them both. So I hope you find this useful. If there's anything else in particular that you'd like to know or for me to show, please feel free to ask, remember to share and subscribe. And I look forward to doing more videos in the future. Thank you very much.